Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasavi Gauro Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all of you for this Sunday session for the Nectar of Devotion. We are on chapter 10. Chapter 10 is entitled Techniques of Hearing and Remembering. So the chapter 10, the PowerPoint printouts, it gives a nice explanation of the overview, an overview of chapter 10. Chapter 10 is discussing items 43, 44, 45 and 46 of the 64 items of devotional service. The 4 items are hearing, expecting the Lord's mercy, remembrance and meditation. So these are the 4 items that we are going to see today. And okay, so as we know, we are in the middle of the 64 items, and till chapter 14 is the 64 items. 15, 16 is Raganuga Bhakti, Ragatmika, then Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. So the first item here is hearing. If you remember, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu gave a nice class few Sundays back on Shravanam, hearing, and he said there are 4 benefits of hearing. Remember? 4 benefits of hearing is first is information. You get information about the science of devotional service, information of the details of activities. What are the things to do, not to do, all those information you get, which is quite revolutionary for most people. Devotional service itself is a revolutionary concept for most people. And all those practices and the rituals, it's all exotic for many, especially for Westerners. So you get information. And he made a nice point. He said, information is different from being familiar. So whenever we approach people about for preaching to introduce them to Krishna consciousness. So generally, many people say, no, we all know this. They have an expression on their face to show, oh, we are aware of this. We know this. You would say Krishna, there's the Gita. Gita was spoken in the Battle of Kurukshetra, and you start introducing. And many people have this kind of expression to show, yeah, I'm aware. I know this. And then you start talking about Krishna and how Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. So familiarity, Indians are familiar with the concepts. Krishna is known, battle is known, Gita is known, Vedic scriptures are known, that at least the names are known, many people know. So they may claim that I know all this. Especially when Prabhupada was preaching in India before going to the West, he had faced this problem, challenge a lot. Most people say, I know the Gita, I know Krishna, we are already practicing bhakti. So what are you going to teach us something new? And so that was familiarity. So information is actually the science behind what to do, what not to do. So most Indians are familiar, but they are not informed about Krishna consciousness. Why we do certain things, why get up early in the morning, why the need for sadhana, why the need for japa, why go to a temple. And now these things are highly getting circulated on Facebook and social media. Why do you have a shikha? Why do you put tilak? Why do you go to holy places? All these things are now getting circulated. To explain how to give faith to the Hindus, why we are doing so many things. So now people are slowly getting aware, and now they are waking up to the realities of our culture and traditions and the practices. So what we are getting from the Acharya is information, in the sense, the science behind doing things, why we do things, why we don't do certain things. More than just getting familiar with the names and terms and the terms. So when you know the information, then when you hear about Krishna consciousness, when you get the information, knowledge about Krishna consciousness, devotional service, Krishna's qualities, activities, Nam, Rup, Guna, Lila, then you find satisfaction. That's what you are explaining. You feel satisfied and happy. So that is another advantage of hearing. You get informed, you get knowledge, and you feel satisfied, because we all have a hankering to hear about someone great. If you don't hear about Krishna, then we end up hearing about some mortal movie star or a cricket star or some local mundane person. Because the tendency to worship, tendency to admire someone great is there in everyone. So if we don't hear about Krishna and hear about his glories, then we will hear so many other people which can never satisfy the heart. But as soon as we hear about Krishna's greatness, qualities and pastimes, then you feel happy and satisfied. Parikshit Maharaj speaks about this several times in the Bhagavatam. Please speak, go on speaking, because that is nourishing me. Although I am not taking any food and drinks throughout for the 7 days, but what you are speaking is nourishing me. For satisfaction. And then he said the third point is information, satisfaction, purification. You get purified of your anarthas, which doesn't happen when you hear about mundane topics. So the heart is infected with lust, anger, greed, envy, all these anarthas. As soon as you hear about Krishna, then these anarthas are uprooted from the heart. And finally, we get conviction. Conviction about following the process of devotion service and practicing it till the end of our life. So hearing is given a lot of importance in our movement, in the Bhakti Marg. Parikshit is an example of a person who perfected his life simply by the process of hearing. And hearing, Prabhupada said, it should not be like a parrot-like hearing. It should be assimilated, heard properly, assimilated and practiced. So here Rupa Goswami is listing out the hearing as one of the elements of 64 items. So let us begin. Yes, Prabhu.
Hearing. The beginning of Krishna consciousness and devotional service is hearing, in Sanskrit called Swaranam.
Shravanam.
All people should be given the chance to come and join devotional parties so that they may hear. This hearing is very important for progressing in Krishna consciousness. When one links his ears to give oral reception to the transcendental vibrations, he can quickly become purified and cleansed in the heart. Lord Chaitanya has affirmed that this hearing is very important. It cleanses the heart of contaminated soul so that he becomes quickly qualified to enter into devotional service and understand Krishna consciousness.
One devotee gave this example of how if you want to go to America, you start hearing first. Or any other, you students aspire to go to Western countries, get an education, get a job. So you first hear about it from your friends. Oh, it's there, you get a nice college. And then slowly you start a desire, and then you work on it, and you get a recommendation, then you start getting visa and application. And then you are transported that land of dreams. And but then those who don't have any desire, then they stay here. Similarly, if you want to get transported to spiritual world, you hear slowly, then you start developing the desire to go there, and finally, the time of death, you are transported. Nice example. Yes.
In the Garuda Purana, the stress on hearing is expressed very nicely. It is said there, the state of conditioned life in the material world is just like that of a man lying unconscious, having been bitten by a snake. This is because both such unconscious states can be ended by the sound of a mantra. When a man is snake bitten, he does not die immediately, but first becomes unconscious and remains in a comatose condition. Anyone who is in the material world is also sleeping, as he is ignorant of his actual self or his actual duty and his relationship with God. So materialistic life means that one is bitten by the snake of Maya, illusion, and thus, without any Krishna consciousness, is almost dead. Now the so-called dead man bitten by a snake can be brought back to life by the chanting of some mantra. There are expert chanters of these mantras who can perform this feat. Similarly, one can be brought back into Krishna consciousness from the deadly unconscious state of material life by hearing of the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, the Bhagavatam 6th canto elaborates on this point in great detail. How a living entity goes through three states. Say, for example, he's sleeping. Sleep state, awakened state, and enlightened state. Then the Vritrasura pastime, Chitraketu pastime, very nicely explained. So when a person is sleeping, dreaming, and he sees a dream of how, say, a tiger is attacking him, or he's falling off from a building, something fearful. So that dream state, he is sweating and he is desperate, he is miserable. And there is a person standing outside and he's observing his condition. And he's wondering why he is miserable, why is he crying, why is he sweating. So then he tries to wake him up. And as soon as he wakes him up, the tiger goes away, everything goes away, and then he is normal. Now the question raised is the tiger real or not? Is that experience real or not? Yes or no?
For that moment, yes, it is.
Yeah, from that dream state point of view, it is real. From an awakened person's state of point of view, it is unreal, false. So similarly, the Bhagavatam states, from an enlightened person's point of view, everything is unreal. What we are doing now, whatever we are going through, all this family, society, job, everything is unreal. It's scary. Everything is unreal. Anything that is happening in the material world, every interaction, every political situation, crisis, so many things are happening. From a spiritual world's point of view, this is all Maya. Everything is unreal. Just like an awakened person's point of view, the dream is unreal. the person who is in the dream, it's real. So we feel real because we are in the dream. The whole world and the activities surrounding it, connect, relations and love and hate, it's all real from our point of view. But from a spiritual liberated soul's point of view, it's all unreal. So as soon as we get liberated, we understand, no, it's all temporary. Why did I take it so seriously? Devoting an entire life for cultivating this and maintaining this is a waste of time, Bhagavatam says. So as soon as you hear, the awake person shouts and wakes him up. The person who is dreaming and in a miserable state. And then he wakes up and then everything is normal. So when a guru or the Lord comes and wakes us up in the form of the vibration, spiritual vibration. For Kali Yuga, it is a holy name. So that vibration has a potential to wake us up from the dream, sleepy state and bring us back to our original awakened, enlightened state. So therefore, the whole our movement is based on sound. How much we absorb and expose our minds to that spiritual sound. To that degree, we make advancement. Therefore, attentive chanting is emphasized so much. Because the mind has to be exposed to the sound. Mind has to be exposed to the Bhagavatam vibration, the Gita vibration, spiritual sound. The sound is the most powerful element in the material world, among the gross elements. And the more we expose our thought and consciousness to that sound, spiritual sound, awakening becomes faster. Waking up becomes faster. And if we are careless about the sound, attention to the sound, and we may do everything else, but it lacks potency, not as effective as the sound. Therefore, the morning program is emphasized, chanting attentive 16 rounds is emphasized, hearing the class is emphasized. Hearing. So we hear so much, right? About hearing. So how carefully attentively we expose the mind to the vibration. That is the key. Key to liberation. Key to getting out of the material world and entering into the spiritual world. Anything anyone wants to share? Okay, let's move.
In the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 29th chapter, verse 40, the importance of hearing of the pastimes of Lord is stated by Sukhadev Goswami to Maharaj Parikshit. My dear king, one should stay at a place where the great acharyas, holy teachers, speaks about the transcendental activities of the Lord, and one should give oral reception to the nectarian river flowing from the moonlight faces of such great personalities. If someone eagerly continues to hear such transcendental sounds, then certainly he will become freed from all material hunger, thirst, fear and lamentation, as well as illusions of material existence. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended this process of hearing as a means of self-realization in the present age of Kali. In this age, it is very difficult to follow thoroughly the regulative principles and studies of the Vedas, which were formerly recommended. However, if one gives oral reception to the sound vibrated by great devotees and acharyas, that alone will give him relief from all material contamination. Therefore, it is the recommendation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that one should simply hear from authorities who are actually devotees of the Lord. Hearing from professional men will not help. If we hear from those who are actually self-realized, then the nectarian rivers, like those which are flowing on the moon planet, will flow into our ears. This is the metaphor used in the above verse.
The moon has a somaras, the nectar flowing, and residents in the heavenly planet drink this nectar, they say. So as soon as you drink the nectar, you become immortal. Immortal in the sense, your life gets extended in the material world. And so, hearing the holy name Nama Amrit, the Krishna Amrit, Krishna Katha Amrit is that nectar which gives life. So, Sanatana Goswami is the person who warned. Avaishnava Mukhodgirnam. Know that verse? Avaishnava Mukhodgirnam Putam Harikathamritam Shravanam Naiva Kartavyam Sarpochishtam Yathapaya. Just like milk touched by the lips of a serpent gets poisonous. Similarly, a person who is a professional person who is making money out of discussing the Bhagavatam, when he speaks, he or she speaks, the katha becomes poisonous by the poison-like heart. And when person hears that narrations, his heart becomes infected with poison.
But what is the reason?
Reason of what?
If one person is taking money to give the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, why is that poisonous?
In the sense, if he has no faith and he is just doing it as a profession, Bhagavatam narration becomes a profession for his livelihood. Then it becomes, it entirely shows it's a money-making business, not exactly enlightening action, enlightening activity for the masses. Then it is considered. That lack of faith is poisonous.
How do we know that he has lack of faith?
From his activities, we have to see.
He's doing it as a professional.
Yeah, so
You call someone.
if he's addicted to 6 urges, control 6 urges, and faith basically is one good barometer to check how much is pure.
See, certain time they don't charge. Okay, means big Bhagavats takes place for 7 days, more than 2,000 people sit at a time. They say Dakshina is given, we are not charging, and the Dakshina goes in lakhs. Okay. Now, what kind of Dakshina it is, I also don't understand. Okay. When certain thing is my mom watch on TV, then I say, वो पाप कर रहा है, आप भी पाप कर लो. वो लेकिन टीवी पे दिखा रहा है 3,000 लोग सुन रहे हैं उसको. Then she says like that. और लेकिन पैसा ले रहा है ना वो. Then she says नहीं उसको दक्षिणा देते हैं, पैसा नहीं लेता है. Then I shut my mouth and say. So that's what I want to know from you. You have already clarified faith. Okay. So we can't see that what the person is doing in action. Okay. So then how to understand? Faith is one thing, but we can't go and see what he's actually doing. He's on the TV for 7 days. And then what he will do, we don't know. And again, after 1 year, he will be there for 7 days. Okay, so very different places we go. So how then to understand other than faith? Okay, and then this.
If you are not sure, better not listen.
I am not listening.
No, I'm not saying you should not listen. I'm saying in general, if someone is not sure about a person's character, whether he's speaking out of faith, speaking professionally, speaking to earn money, speaking for any other motivated reason, if you are not sure, then better not hear. Just like if on in Ekadashi you are given something and you are not sure whether it is grain or not, you don't take, right? It may not be grain, it may be Ekadashi, but if you are not sure, we don't take. Why take a risk? Therefore, similarly, when it comes to hearing, we should be done with extreme discrimination. Better not. Who knows? He may be pure, we don't know. But if he is not, and it's going to infect my heart. So all this watching of Astha and Sanskar channels is all big risk. They may not be hardcore materialistic sense gratifiers, even if they are not. But if they are not in parampara and if they have not received the teachings from Guru Parampara, then it is risky. Can we afford to take that risk? That is the question.
I used to give presentation in energy awareness. I never used to charge. And when I never used to charge, I used to find it very difficult to give lecture. Once I started charging, they felt, oh, she's having substance in the...
Yeah.
So, it is, and one of my other friends telling me, it's very easy if you bribe them, you will get more money also. This is not what I mean. But it is like that, okay? If you say I'll give free, people wonder why like that. It is surprisingly, this is the truth.
That's okay. Our motive, we may be charging, but if our motive is not to make a profit and earn money and make a big business out of it, then it is okay. And we may charge and then use the money for Krishna service. That's another thing.
That's what I say.
That's okay. It's okay. But this was a practice. People charge for, even we charge for Gita courses. So that's not that we are not charging. Charging per se is not a problem. Problem is the motive behind it. Are you making it commercial? Making it commercial and making a big business out of it. That is our idea. You may not charge, but still you are charging. Charging is not the only action that will contaminate the discussion. The motive is the main thing. So charging is one way where you express your commercial motive, usually. But otherwise, there could be other motives. You may not charge and still they're doing it for name and fame, for popularity. That's also equally contaminating. This happened in Prabhupada's time also. He gave an organized, when he was in New York, early years, 1966. His disciples, not disciples, just followers, they organized a big, they booked a big hall and invited people, big 2000 capacity hall. 10 people turned up. And then Prabhupada said, why did you do this? Of course, initially he encouraged them. You didn't see Lord Brahma, Narad Muni, all they were standing there in the audience. That's what he said. But then when he came back to the room, then he chastised them. I told you to charge at least $5, $2, something you should have charged. Then people take it seriously. Otherwise, people think it is cheap. So therefore, to make serious, this Sanskrit Bharati, this organization, they do the Sanskrit classes. They also don't charge. And I don't know how effective, successful they are, but they don't charge anything. 10-day courses they have, Sanskrit. 2 hours session. They teach you spoken Sanskrit. Good organization, nice classes. But they also don't charge anything. And then the future courses they charge. So it's quite successful. So when people know you're offering something, little bit of charging can help, just to give people that faith. Okay, this is not something cheap. All right. Yes.
As stated in Bhagavad Gita, a materialistic person can give up his material hankerings only by becoming situated in Krishna consciousness. Unless one finds a superior engagement, he will not be able to give up his inferior engagement. In the material world, everyone is engaged in the illusory activities of inferior energy, but when one is given the opportunity to release the activities of the superior energy performed by Krishna, then he forgets all his lesser pleasures. When Krishna speaks on battlefield of Kurukshetra, to the materialistic person it appears that this is simply talk between two friends, but actually it is a river of nectar flowing down from the mouth of Sri Krishna. Arjuna gave oral reception to such vibrations, and thus he became free from all the illusions of material world.
This is that verse, Vishaya Vinivartante, Nirahara Dehina, Rasavarjam, Rasopyasya, Param Drishtva Nivartate. Unless you experience a higher taste, you cannot give up the lower taste. So that's the point Prabhupada is making. Yes, the 12th canto.
In the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter, verse 15, it is stated, a person who desires unalloyed devotional service to Lord Krishna, who is praised by transcendental sound vibrations, should always hear about his glorification and transcendental qualities. This will surely kill all kinds of inauspiciousness in the heart.
Yeah. So if you see the notes, there are it's a nice classification given. 3 types of hearing: Naam Shravan, Charita Shravan, and Gunadi Shravan. So the Garud Puran reference that we saw, snake bite example, that is talking about Naam Shravan. Then 4th canto, Shukdev Goswami telling Maharaj Parikshit, my dear king, one should stay at a place where the great Acharyas speak about the transcendental activities. That is Charita Shravan. And the 12th canto example is Gunadi. Person who desires unalloyed devotional service to Lord Krishna, who is praised by transcendental sound vibrations, should always hear about his glorification and transcendental activities, transcendental qualities. So 3 types of Shravan. Analogies, snake bite analogy, and 4 analogies here. Snake bite analogy, another is comatose having been bitten by both are snake. Next is nectar metaphor. Moon Somaras and Krishna Katha. This is how you can expect questions, for the exam. Analogy to describe all these points. That is the advantage of these notes. It classifies nicely. Any questions, any comments on this? before we go ahead? Ah.
I don't know if they belong to some sampradaya. There are some people who are very similar to us, like the tilaka, the beads, the mantra also, and they teach about Krishna, deity worship, and everything similar to Prabhupada started, but it's not in the parampara. All Radha Krishna.
Okay.
And we have a video of it. So there is a continuous circulation of this on WhatsApp in a devotee group also.
Ah.
They speak about Krishna, but there is some person called Bapuji Sarkar whom they tell as his divine grace Srila Bapuji Sarkar. So, the problem is that this katha has been circulating continuously on WhatsApp, thinking that Krishna katha it is. Some extent, I don't hear it is. But
Audio
yeah,
or text?
Audio, text, audio. So now, how to make understand? Because everything is same. The tilak, the beads, the chanting of mantra. But it's not in the parampara and it's hampering the
How do you know it is not in the parampara?
because Srila Prabhupada's picture or the worship of Srila Prabhupada, that nothing is mentioned. Hardcore Vaishnavism, like we say, Guru Shishya Parampara, that is also not mentioned. And this person, Bapuji Sarkar, and his servant, Damodar Das, is doing it. So I don't know also that if it is authentic at all, but it's being circulated.
I'm not saying it's authentic or not. I cannot answer now. But this could be the Gaudiya Mutt's followers, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's followers. It could be like that.
So how do we know that it is coming in the Sampradaya?
We cannot know. That's the
You
risk.
can question them.
You can question them if you want.
Yeah.
But do we need? Are we running shortage of resources
Yes.
that we have to hear them?
But it's coming in the devotee group, so we have to let it.
See, devotee group doesn't guarantee everything is 100% pure. No guarantee. We have to use our discrimination and be careful. You know the Radhikata story, right? Scandal. So devotee, our temples.
What happened?
Radhikata, that was supposed to be Ekadashi Atta. And it went on for years. And suddenly the whole thing was exposed. It is not Ekadashi item. Something was found out. And it was not intentional. It was accidental. Yeah, not intentionally. It just happened to be accident. And then finally the person, they got it from I think Swaminarayan people. And finally after many years of consumption, no one followed Ekadashi for years. All our Ekadashi. Now you have to do Nirjal every year. So
It was exported, in fact.
it was exported. Everyone's Ekadashi was spoiled.
Singapore devotees from
Yeah.
US and
They made a big business. And then we realized, no, we stopped. So similarly, you may get all WhatsApp circulations and all Facebook media. Just because a Das is there in the end doesn't guarantee it is Das or Devi Dasi is there, doesn't guarantee it is 100% pakka acceptable. We have to be careful. Someone may do it intentionally, maligning the devotee community. In fact, it happened even during Prabhupada, not immediately after Prabhupada's time, after Prabhupada left. Many ISKCON devotees felt unhappy with the leadership, and slowly they were fried out. And then slowly some people left ISKCON and joined the Gaudiya Mutt. And so some people from the Gaudiya Mutt started unnecessarily poking in the affairs of ISKCON and trying to distract people. Oh, Prabhupada is not so bona fide. He has given philosophy, basic philosophy, but not the highest rasa tattva, madhurya ras. That is not there in Prabhupada's rule. So in this way, people started deviating. So I want to experience that rasa, madhurya, Radha Kund rasa. So then that is available only in our institution. So these kind of, they are also Gaudiyas, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's line, they worship Radha Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, everything is there, they chant the Mahamantra. But then they are destroying the faith in our founder Acharya. So then it's better maintain a safe distance. So social media advantages are there, but then this risk is also there. So many things keep getting circulated, and we can't be gullible. thinking, oh, it's coming from a devotee, is all bona fide. So better restrict. If you're not sure, better restrict. We have enough resources. We have no time to finish reading Prabhupada's books. WhatsApp, once you open the WhatsApp, 100 chats are there, 100 messages are there, then opening takes 1 hour. Finishing off all things. Half of my time goes in making the read things unread. Mine is Nokia phone, so it takes a little more time for opening WhatsApp. And so many messages come, I just don't even read. I just delete and clear off everything.
The time really goes with WhatsApp.
If you go on the internet and so many links come up and open new window, keep on opening so many windows, and you don't realize how 1 hour left, 1 hour went off. But sitting in front of Prabhupada, so 10 minutes appears like 1 year. But here, 1 year looks like half a moment. Exactly the opposite.
See, there you don't have to use your mind.
Yeah.
Here you have to really be alert and
So it's a big risk, huh? Devotees are careless about accessing and reading things. And then it just blocks. So the weeds, these are all weeds for the Bhaktilata beach. Everything appears like nourishment, but it's all nourishing the weeds. And then the seed is choked up. And then we wonder, why don't I feel the taste? Why don't the lust and anarthas go away? I'm still struggling with anarthas. We wonder, how will it go? It's not, we are nourishing the weeds.
Just like Maggie.
Huh? Just like Maggie. How like Maggie?
On the packet, everything written. You'll get the A vitamins, B vitamins, and inside it is.
And then you get Ajinomoto also. So yeah, it's a big risk. Devotees have to be extremely watchful about what we read, from whom we hear, so many books keep coming up. Many books are good, which are bona fide also. But what is suitable for me? We have to be extremely careful. One poison thing, when it's stuck in the heart, it's difficult to uproot and eradicate. So, therefore we have that Kanishta, Madhyama classification. Whom to hear? We have to hear from advanced devotees. Ideally a pure devotee. Ideally Uttam Adhikari. Okay, if that is not available, someone lower. If that is not available, someone lower. So, therefore, discrimination is given. Otherwise, in the name of being judgmental and offenses, we can't be careless about from whom we hear.
some devotees are very knowledgeable, but their behavior with other Vaishnavas
May not be exemplary. But ideal behavior and no knowledge also not the best.
Some people I feel so knowledgeable, the way they speak, the way they tell me to do 16 malas and you see, it's so surprising, the attitude is very different.
So we can't judge exactly from that, but
It is over a long span.
over a long span. Everyone is undergoing the struggle with anartha.
That
So
also is true.
we have to be careful. That's the whole bottom line. Be careful. If something happens, don't blame the other person. You spoiled my life. That's the whole idea. Yeah.
Expecting the Lord's mercy. In the 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse 8, it is said, my dear Lord, any person who is constantly awaiting your causeless mercy to be bestowed upon him, and who goes on suffering the resultant actions of his past misdeeds, offering you respectful obeisances from the core of his heart, is surely eligible to become liberated, for it has become his rightful claim. This statement of Srimad Bhagavatam would be the guide of all devotees. A devotee should not expect immediate relief from the reactions of his past misdeeds. No conditioned soul is free from such reactionary experiences, because material existence means continued suffering or enjoying of past activities. If one has finished his material activities, then there is no more birth. This is possible only when one begins Krishna conscious activities, because such activities do not produce reaction. Therefore, as soon as one becomes perfect in Krishna conscious activities, he is not going to take birth again in this material world. A devotee who is not perfectly freed from the resultant action should therefore continue to act in Krishna consciousness seriously, even though there may be so many impediments. When such impediments arise, he should simply think of Krishna and expect his mercy. That is the only solace. If the devotee passes his days in that spirit, it is certain that he is going to be promoted to the abode of the Lord. By such activities, he earns his claim to enter into the kingdom of God. The exact word used in this verse is Daya Bhak.
Daya Bhak.
Daya Bhak. Daya Bhak. Daya Bhak.
Daya Bhak.
Okay, Daya Bhak refers to a son's becoming the lawful inheritor of the property of the father. In a similar way, a pure devotee who is prepared to undergo all kinds of tribulations in executing Krishna conscious activities becomes lawfully qualified to enter into the transcendental abode.
So this is a famous verse, Brahmaji's prayer. What's this verse? How does it begin? Tattenu kampam susamikshmano bunjana evatma kritam vibhag hridvag vapurbhir vidadhan namaste jivetayo muktipade sadaya bhak. Last word. Rightful inheritance, rightful claim for the inheritance. So one who accepts every difficulty, every calamity, every problem in life gratefully as a mercy of the Lord. Such a person who has this attitude can enter into the spiritual world. It's a big attitudinal shift to see a problem as a mercy. Someone gives you gali and then you say it is Lord's mercy. Someone insults you and you take it as Lord's mercy. Someone harms you, trying to destroy you, trying to spoil your name, and then you accept it as Lord's mercy. Person who has this attitude is qualified to enter into the spiritual world, according to Lord Brahma. Govind Prabhu, I think he spoke this. 3 levels of tolerance. First level is Mataras Parshastu, our basic Gita. Heat and cold, happiness and distress. You just tolerate without complaining. Not that you accept it as a mercy, but at least you tolerate. Hello, there is no other option. So let me tolerate. And I don't complain. And seasonal changes happen. So these things will keep on coming and going. You just tolerate. That is the first level of good attitude. Right attitude. Without complaining, you accept. Next level of tolerance is this. Not only just tolerate, you accept it gratefully. You consider it the Lord's mercy. And you say thank you to the Lord for someone doing something wrong to you. And third is what? Higher than this? Huh?
Last verse.
No. This is Kunti Devi's prayer. Vipada San, give me more. Give me more. Dil mange more. I want more and let more and more calamities come into my life. Because when more calamities are there, when I see the darshan of more calamities, I don't have to see the darshan of birth and death, repeated cycle of birth and death. When I get your darshan, that means I don't get the darshan of repeated cycle of birth and death. So this is the highest level of looking at problems in life. Yeah, last was, yeah, you can say that. Ashli Shiva. Yeah, true.
That is you are giving, you accept me or reject me. This is I think one level.
This is inviting. This is Kunti is inviting problems when there is no problem.
Very difficult.
Difficult, it is impossible.
In scriptures also, Prabhu, is there any example apart from Kunti Devi who has asked like that?
I can't think of. He invited problems?
He didn't invite, but when the problem, such a huge problem also came, he just stood there. And he
Yeah.
didn't react. And he
No, we are asking whether there is another someone inviting. No. Kunti is a. That's why that verse stands out.
There is one devotee whose the body was hit by leprosy, and when those germs.
Yeah, Vasudeva is a leper.
So he used to actually take those worms and kick them back. So
Yeah.
he's kind of inviting. Let me remain in a problematic state, then I'll be always humble.
Close, not exact.
He didn't invite more.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just wonder how Lord will react to that kind of prayers, like Kunti. I don't know how he will accept that kind of prayers.
At least suffering becomes very easy. I mean, she doesn't suffer when she's already, saying ki Baba, she doesn't suffer. Like accepting itself, that level only is so difficult that we experience suffering.
Maybe.
She suffered a lot.
To a person who has a capacity to handle suffering, I mean, Krishna gives the strength to handle such a suffering. Person who doesn't have that strength, the Lord won't give such problem. Or in other words, if a problem is coming in our life, that means the Lord has confidence in our strength to handle the problem. According to the caliber. Just like an exam, child in a 10th standard, he won't get a paper of engineering. The 2nd standard student won't get a paper of 10th standard. So a test is, problem is like a test. And we will be able to handle the problem. That's how the Lord arranges the test. Especially for a devotee.
actually, there's no other alternative. Because if you get angry at the person, you will really react violently. And that will complicate matters.
Yeah, you get more reactions.
Then you get more reactions. Actually, there is no other
Yeah.
way out of that.
Therefore, Thumbsticks Bharata. You should tolerate. That is the first. And to accept the Ayabhag. This verse is talking about thinking that whatever problems come, it's just a token of what you deserve. So you were supposed to get much more, and this is just that. No, your throat was supposed to be cut. You get a wound in the hand, something like that. That is, who said this?
That is for devotees, you say.
I mean, ideally for everyone. If that is the attitude, then the next problem will be a token. Someone was saying in the Bhagavatam class. We were going on a yatra, and so we were in a bus, and there was a tempo ahead, and there was a couple, a family in a bike in the middle. So the big truck was going ahead, and this man with his wife and a small kid on the motorcycle, and then behind our bus. So it was close, not big distance between the three vehicles. So what happened was the truck went ahead, and there was a big hole, pothole on the road. So the truck went ahead because through the 4 tires ke beech mein chala gaya. He didn't get affected. But beech mein the hole was there, and the man didn't see there's a hole. So there was a big one, and then he suddenly got stuck, and then he fell off, and behind our bus, immediately behind. And suddenly he applied the brakes, but all three went inside, below the bus. The bike and the three of them went below, and everyone was in a state of shock. So he applied the brake, somehow he stopped, and then before getting down, the man thought, okay, maybe I will move the bus behind so that they will come out. But somehow devotees told him to stop. And they went down and saw both were unhurt. All three were unhurt. Nothing big happened, fortunately. The man had some skin got peeled off a little bit. Wife was little unhurt. The child, the baby's head was just behind the front wheels. If we had taken the reverse, then it would have definitely crushed. So this is if there's a big, what do you call, saving of life. No, otherwise he would have definitely got crushed.
Just here.
Very near, yeah, big escape. So last year, July, we had gone on a yatra. Devotees, Melkote. So many devotees have such. You also have a story, right? You also escaped from a big.
An accident, and Actually, 3 cars ahead of me, they got hit by my car because some tempo, it hit my car and just ran away at about 12 o'clock in the night, and all my doors were jammed. Only, and I saw the petrol was leaking. I thought, I just get out of the car. I just got out of the car and I saw all other 3 cars. People were bleeding, etc. Everybody was bleeding. Nothing happened to me, and everybody was shouting at me. You did this, you did that. I didn't do anything actually. I was just standing at the signal and one tempo just hit me and then everybody else told him he hasn't done anything, the tempo has done it. Then everybody, and one person, there was one couple in the front car and she was pregnant. The lady was pregnant. And they were so angry at me. What have you done? Then you just get out of it. Then later on, when I went to the police station, one relative had come to the police station with me, his relative. I told nothing has happened. Everything is okay. Just some minor bleeding here. So, and only my nail had broken, nothing else. My toe nail had broken, and nothing else happened. And if you've seen the car, it was totally crumpled. Nobody, everybody would have told, anybody who's sitting here would have just got finished. All the 3 seats, they were crumpled except my seat.
Driver's seat.
Driver's seat.
Is that an Audi?
Yes, too.
Yeah, Audi. Don't talk about
My Audi has special protection.
No,
They have
अभी
that
वो
balloon,
newspaper
air
में
balloon.
lawyer है ना.
That
She
lawyer,
banged the car.
recently that happened. The air balloon that protects you.
Audi ka?
Only the opponent gets this one. You are protected. Actually, the person who's going and hit. The inside the car, the person, the driver is protected. It's
Achha.
Air bag.
Just 2 days back,
It is
one
now in all
Janvi,
the
a
cars.
lawyer.
Even Toyota, many cars they have started. Audis and many others.
So nothing will happen.
They will be protected.
If you push, the weight comes more than normal, then that automatically that balloon comes.
The air protects you.
This is called ABS, airbag system.
Acha.
In all cars.
So when does it activate? When there is an accident?
When there's an accident, the car takes
What did you say? When the person is bending, the air, this thing comes
Yeah,
out.
the balloon comes.
The position is very distinct.
Okay, when you apply this one.
It is in all cars.
Come on.
I didn't know
यहाँ
that.
पर
She escaped. The other person.
Krishna is for it.
3 times, 4 times.
So just about 7 days, I had some headache in my head. That's all. And one of my toenails was good. Otherwise, nothing happened. It's really, nothing is saved me.
So there are many such stories going through some extreme calamities and something minor scratch happens, your life is saved. So that's when we actually realize, Krishna protected me and it could have been much worse. That time we realize it could have been much more, but small thing happened. But when it comes to ordinary dealings, small little problems happen, then we don't remember this. It could have been much more, especially in devotee interactions. Someone insults us, someone deals with us harshly. That day, one of our devotees came for prasad, dinner. And then there are few days, every day the Sandhya Bhog Mahaprasad is allotted to different people. So one day it goes to VTA, one day it goes to the servants, one day it goes to the tailors, DT dress tailors. A few days it comes to our brahmacharis. And everything is distributed. So they're all fixed. So one day it happened to be for us, the brahmacharis. And this outside congregation devotee was sitting there and taking prasad. When he saw the Mahaprasad, and he came all the way, took his plate, walked out, came up and came in the line for getting that Mahaprasad. And then this devotee was distributing, he said, "Nahi milega." That was a little harsh, but he was he was doing every day, and then somehow he got angry and then he said, and then this devotee, some other devotee felt compassion and gave a little, some bhai ko de diya usko. And then he went and sat, and then he complained to me, "Prabhuji, he said like this, but I got anyway." And then that taunt was quite visible. And so the point is that he carried that hurt for a long time. And then he kept reminding me many times, "Aisa ho gaya, aisa ho gaya." So these kind of small little dealings, it remains in our mind for a long time, and then we complain. And then something else happens, then we recall, aisa ho gaya tha, waisa ho gaya tha. Hey, these devotees are like that only. They're too attached to so many things. And so small little things we don't accept that it could be something good, worse could have happened, and so that's how relationship gets spoiled. Unable to, we don't. Anyone who is senior, we expect him to be ideal,
Yeah, that's true.
and I justify my actions saying I am junior.
And
That's-
especially on the temple side, if like your brahmachari or something, we really feel that you all are doing.
Whether a brahmachari or counselor or a guru, whoever, anyone senior to me, we expect that person to be idealistic, and we can tolerate any loopholes in that behavior. But when we commit a mistake, we want to justify, saying, I'm a human, man. I'm a human being. I have anarthas. But he's not a human, he's a demigod. He is the supreme personality of God. So that's the challenge. That's how we commit offenses. And
But here I want to say the person who ran with a good intention to have Mahaprasad. And it is not bad on his part. In fact, the other person should.
yeah, he was a little harsh, true. But then it happened. You can't control other people's behavior, right? How they react,
And
how.
under what circumstances he's coming.
Huh?
He's under what circumstances
Yeah.
he's coming.
Okay, so let us move ahead.
In some ways or others, if someone establishes in his mind his continuous relationship with Krishna, this relationship is called remembrance. About this remembrance, there is a nice statement in the Vishnu Puran, where it says, simply by remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities become eligible for all kinds of auspiciousness. Therefore, let me always remember that Lord, who is unborn and eternal. In the Padma Purana, the same remembrance is explained as follows. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, Krishna, because if someone remembers him, either at the time of death or during his span of life, he becomes free from all sinful reactions.
So this is the goal of our practice. Smartavya satatam Vishnu, vismartavyo na jatujit. Sarve vidhi nishedasyo retayor eva kinkar. The whole, every rule and regulation is meant to remind us of Krishna and protect us from forgetting Krishna. So hearing and chanting are the most potent practices that can help us remember Krishna. The Bhagavatam, there is a verse, how remembrance of Krishna is like a sword that cuts off. Yad anudhyasena yuta chindanti govidastasya konu kuryat katharatim. It cuts off our attachments to material things. Remembrance of Krishna. So, remembrance, next meditation is a more focused remembrance. If you see the notes, there are, it says there are 4 kinds of meditation. That's 4 kinds of meditation, not remembrance. Rupa dhyanam, guna dhyanam, krida dhyanam, and seva dhyanam. So if you're chanting, if you are not remembering Krishna, chanting is mechanical. By hearing, we are not remembering Krishna, it's mechanical, it's ritualistic. The goal is remembering Krishna somehow or other. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishne niveshayet. Somehow or other fix the mind on Krishna. And all our activities, whether it is office job or devotional activities, in the office we can remember Krishna maybe. Some may be remembering Krishna. And the ashram, some may forget Krishna also, depending on how mechanically or how devotionally we are performing our activities. So I remember when I was in the office, then I used to eagerly wait for a Sunday. So that was much. Sometimes I feel I was more Krishna conscious outside than I am in the ashram. That intensity, and I used to feel, oh, once I join the ashram, I'll do this. But it's not happening as I had planned.
Difficulties also in office.
Yeah, you feel a challenge. Non-devotees surrounding you, and they doing all kinds of nonsense. That's when you feel, oh, all contaminating atmosphere, and people eating meat and going for drinks and parties, and discussing all kinds of nonsense. That's when you feel the heat of their contamination.
Every time boss calls, remember Krishna, enter the cabin.
When your boss calls you, that's when you remember Krishna more.
But I have a question. See, like you work for a long time, full day, you feel tired of work. But when you're doing it constantly, chanting, being in the temple, it's just Krishna consciousness full day. There may be a stage when you feel saturated, or you feel you want a break in between. Like you work for 6 days, you want a break on Sunday. Do you experience something like you're doing constant Krishna conscious and you want to have a break? It's getting too much.
Too much Krishna. over Krishna saturations. We feel, I mean, ideally you should not, because any devotional activity should refresh you. That itself is a recreation. Krishna consciousness is the greatest recreation. So you should not get tired of devotional activities. So if we are getting tired, that means it's not done in the right attitude.
It's not done
In the right attitude, right mood.
But we are in Rajoguna. We are in Rajoguna. That is
We are in Tamoguna.
Tamoguna, yeah, right?
We have a condition, right?
Condition, yeah. So all modes are mixed up. So therefore, that refreshing nature of Krishna consciousness doesn't come out so easily. So there are devotees who have intense packed schedules in the ashram. Hardly sleeping 5 hours a day, and programs lined up day after day. Shubhu Vilas Prabhu, he came from Delhi. One day, recently, last 2 weeks back, he had gone to Delhi for his book publication. He's writing the Tulsi books, Ramayana. So Ramayana is going on, and he is writing small articles, and then that collection is making into a book. So Ramayana is being published by Jaico publishers. Now for the article collection books ke liye, he is looking for Penguin and Western publishers. So somehow he got a contact. I went to Delhi, met 3-4 publishers. So morning 5 o'clock he got up, gave a Bhagavatam class in Delhi temple, and met the publishers, and then took a flight and came to Bombay. Immediately he had a program here. So these kind of schedules, he is regular. Very regularly he does intense packed schedules. And then I can't do that. Many devotees can't do that. We need many breaks in between. It is quite well balanced pack. But some devotees have the capacity to go on an intense schedule. And they're happy. They're complaining, oh, the temple authorities are pushing me too much. I said, nothing. They themselves are taking up. Some devotees have that capacity. And some devotees have health is not permitting, so they can't do much. That also, you find both extremes. So depending on, the whole idea is, are we putting our best? Am I putting my best to become Krishna conscious? And you will find everyone will not be progressing at the same rate. Some devotees will go slow, some devotees will go at the medium pace, some will really go fast towards Krishna, towards advance. Some may go back to God in one very lifetime, some may take 10 lifetimes. You don't know. Ultimately, we have to fly our own airplane, right? Prabhupada said. So some people experience sluggish growth, some people experience accelerated growth, depending on how intensely you practice. So ultimately, the responsibility of spiritual advancement lies on us. No one we can complain to. This devotee ke karan I couldn't progress. It's all on us. Okay, let's move ahead.
Meditation. To meditate means to engage the mind in thinking of the form of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, the activities of the Lord, and the service of the Lord. Meditation doesn't mean anything impersonal or wrong. According to Vedic literature, meditation is always in the form of Vishnu. In the Vishnu Purana, there is a statement about meditation and the form of the Lord. It is said there, meditation focusing on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been accepted as transcendental and beyond the experience of material pain and pleasure. By such meditation, even one who is grossly miscreant can be delivered from the sinful reactions of his soul. In the Vishnu Dharma, there is a statement about meditation and the transcendental qualities of the Lord. It is said, persons who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness and who remember the transcendental qualities of the Lord become free from all reactions to sinful activities, and after being so cleansed, they become fit to enter into the kingdom of God. In other words, no one can enter into the kingdom of God without being freed from all sinful reactions. One can avoid sinful reactions simply by remembering the Lord's qualities, past and present.
So the 9 stages, Anartha, Nivritti, Nishtha, all those, everyone has to go through 9. It's not that somehow I remember Krishna time of death when I am a Nishtha and then I enter into Godhead in the spiritual world. We all have to go through the 9 stages. Some stages may happen fast, some may take a long time, but the last stages can happen in one day also, probably by Krishna's mercy. The time of death, suddenly everything, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asadi, everything packed up in one zip file, something like that. And then you go back to Godhead. And that also can happen. But going through the 9 stages is essential for everyone. Because prema is a qualification that qualifies you to enter the spiritual world. So remembrance, the intensity of remembrance increases as one goes through the 9 stages. In the beginning, it is sporadic. Once in a while we remember Krishna. Even by chanting, we don't remember Krishna. So what to speak of other times remembering Krishna. So when you're supposed to remember, when you see the deities, you remember something else. That also happens many times. When you dress the deities, also mind is all constantly running here and there. So in the beginning stage, that's the nature of the mind. So always keep remain unsteady. But Nishtha is a stage where it becomes a little bit relatively stable. Nishtha, steadiness. And then Ruchi means a little more than Asakti, more attachment. And then the ecstatic symptoms begins manifesting. So the next is a story of a South Indian Brahmana. How his meditation was so intense that the Lord was so pleased and he took him back to Godhead.
Intense meditation, intense remembering usually happens when you're in trouble. And actually, I've seen Krishna arranges that trouble, so that and those are the times when you're the most spiritual.
True. I went to this place, Bhima Shankar. You know the Bhima Shankar? Jyotirling. It's near Karjat. It's a 4-hour trek from Karjat. And one day we were all going with college students, and there's this one spot where it was a deep valley. It was a rainy season, August. And a deep valley. All that moss on the rock. Yeah. Slippery. So many devotees crossed easily. Somehow I couldn't muster the guts to cross. And I stood there and was waiting and I didn't know whether to go. I even thought of coming back all the way in the middle. And that's when I actually chanted Hare Krishna. Nicely. All these years I've never chanted as intensely as at that time. Somehow then one devotee pulled me, and it was not a big, hardly 5-6 feet of distance, but that one step, and I was not confident it will fall down and slip, and that's the end of the whole thing. So yeah, intense calamity and misery. That's why Kunti Devi is praying, no? Give me more calamities. Calamities means I'll remember you.
But for 12 also you need lifetime practice.
True.
Everybody cannot remember it.
Yeah.
And I think that is the only way you can thank the Lord that some trouble came in your life. Because that is the time you will progress the most.
Yeah. We were on a South India Yatra, I remember 2005, I think. We went to Rameshwaram and other places. And one devotee got into that Dhanushkodi. 2005 also we went to South India.
Then he entered Dhanushkodi.
Now he went to Rameshwaram and that's ocean. And then he couldn't swim. He got stuck in that water. Huh? No. Our Maharaj Yatra, Kartik Yatra. So, and devotee chant Hare Krishna. He couldn't save him. One devotee is there swimming, and this devotee is pleading for help. Remember Krishna. He just couldn't save. Somehow the other devotees came up and pulled him. He couldn't chant Hare Krishna at that time.
But it's very difficult.
Yeah, when you're drinking water, all salt water going inside you, how will you remember Krishna? had a big struggle. And then he admitted it. I couldn't remember Krishna. So now then he was banned for 3 years for getting into this trouble.
Banned.
For yatra.
Went against the authority.
Yeah. If you don't know swimming, why did you enter? That was the whole thing. So when you do such blunders, then you can face such actions. Anyway, so yeah, when there is intense misery, if you are not practiced, then it's not easy to remember Krishna. Simply, calamity doesn't guarantee remembrance of Krishna. Therefore, you have to practice. So that's the saying is there, army saying, defense. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Okay.
What is the more you
Sweat. I mean, more you work hard when there is peace time, and then there is war time, you won't bleed much if you have done enough practice during peace time.
The more you sweat in peace,
The less you bleed in war. Next one. Shikshastak Prabhu, or he was in defense, no? He was in Air Force. He quoted this. So this is a story of a Brahmana, South Indian Brahmana, who perfected his life simply by meditation. Yeah, read, please.
The Padma Purana, there is a statement about remembering the activities of the Lord. The person will always engage in meditation on the pastimes and wonderful activities of the Lord, surely becomes free from all material contamination. Some of the Puranas,
Can you read a little louder, Prabhu? Loud.
in some of the Puranas, the evidence is given that if someone is simply meditating on devotional activities, he has achieved the desired result and has seen face to face the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this connection, there is a story in the Vaivastha Purana that in the city of Krishnapura in South India, there was once a Brahmana who was not very well to do, but who was nevertheless satisfied in the result, thinking that it was because of his past misgiving by the desire of Krishna that he did not get sufficient money and offerings. So he was not at all sorry for his poor material position and used to do very peacefully. He was very open-hearted and sometimes he went to hear some lectures delivered by great realized souls. At one such meeting, while he was very carefully hearing about Vaishnava activities, he was informed that these activities can be performed even by meditation. In other words, if a person is unable to actually perform Vaishnava activities physically, he can meditate perform the Vaishnava activities and then acquire all of the same results. Because the Brahmana was not very well to do financially, he decided that he would simply meditate on grand, royal devotional activities and he began his business thus. Sometimes he would take his bath in the river Godavari. After taking his bath, he would sit in a secluded place on the bank of the river. And by practicing the yoga exercise of pranayama, the usual breathing exercises, he would concentrate the mind. These breathing exercises are made to mechanically fix the mind upon a particular subject. That is the result of the breathing exercises and also of the different sitting process of yoga. Formerly, even quite ordinary person used to know how to fix the mind upon remembrance of the Lord. So the Brahmana was doing this. When he had fixed the form of the Lord in his mind, he began to imagine in his meditation that he was blessing the Lord very nicely, positively, with ornaments, headdress, and other paraphernalia. Then he offered his respectful obeisances by bowing down before the Lord. After finishing the blessing, he began to imagine that he was cleaning the temple very nicely. After cleansing the temple, he imagined that he had many water jets made of gold and silver, and he took all those jets to the river and filled them with holy water. Not only did he collect water from Godavari, he collected from the Ganges, Yamuna, Nardana, and Kaveri. Generally, a Vaishnava, when worshipping the Lord, collects water from all the rivers by mantra chanting. This Brahmana, instead of chanting some mantra, imagined that he was physically securing water from all the rivers in golden and silver water pots. Then he collected all kinds of paraphernalia of worship, flowers, fruits, incense, and sandalwood pulp. He said everything placed before the deity. All these waters, flowers and scented articles were placed very nicely after to the deity's great satisfaction. Then he offered Arti and with the regulatory principles, he finished all these activities in the correct worshipping method. He would daily execute similar performances and devotion work, and he continued to do so for many, many years. Then one day the Brahmana entered in his meditation that he had prepared some sweet rice with milk and sugar and offered the preparation to the deity. However, he was not very satisfied with the offering because the sweet rice had been prepared recently and it was still very hot. This preparation sweetness should not be taken out. The cooler the sweet rice, the better its taste. Because the sweet rice had been prepared by the Brahmana very recently, he wanted to taste it so that he could know whether it was fit for cooking by the Lord. As soon as he tasted the sweet rice pot with his finger, immediately was burned by the heat of the pot. In this way, his meditation grew. Now, when he looked at his finger, he saw that it was burned, and he was wondering and asking the smith how this could have happened, because he was simply meditating on touching the hot sweet rice. He never thought that his finger would actually become burned. While he was thinking like this, he invited the Lord Narayana seated with the goddess of fortune Lakshmi began to smile immediately. On seeing this smiling of the Lord, all the goddess of fortune entered into the Lord and said very curious and asked Lord Narayana why he was smiling. The Lord, however, did not reply their inquisitiveness, but instead immediately sent for the Brahmana. An airplane sent from Vaikuntha immediately brought the Brahmana in Lord Narayana's presence. So the Brahmana was thus present before the Lord, and the goddess of fortune, the Lord explained the whole story. The Brahmana was very fortunate enough to get an eternal place in Mukunda and contribution of the Lord and his blessings. This was how the Lord was pervaded. In spite of being locally situated in his abode, although the Lord was present in Vaikuntha, he was present also in the heart of the Brahmana when he was meditating on the worshipping process. Thus we can understand the things offered by the devotees during the meditation accepted by the Lord, they help to achieve the desired result.
That shows how meditation is so powerful. What we meditate on is what we get. In the 8th chapter of the Gita, you find that famous verse, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejatyante kalevaram tam tam eva iti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. So what is our meditation throughout the day? Where is our mind absorbed? During our actions, during our activities, throughout the day. And the accumulated effect of that meditation will determine what we will meditate on at the time of death. In the Bhagavatam, there is this example of insect who is trapped in a hole but attacked by a butterfly. So this insect, out of fear of the butterfly, constantly meditates on the butterfly. But that meditation makes him a butterfly when he comes out of the hole. Similarly, this example comes, Narad Muni is giving the example, when Shishupal was killed by Krishna in the Rajasuya sacrifice, and he entered into the Lord's body and got liberation. So Narad Muni is giving the example. Because Shishupal, although envious of Krishna, but because he was constantly meditating on Lord's quality and personality, he achieved liberation. Initially Sayujya Mukti, but then he was Jaya and Vijay, they went back to the spiritual world. So the Yudhishthira was surprised. How could an envious person, demon, could achieve liberation? He just couldn't accept this. Demons will be killed by the Lord. How can they get the highest? Then everyone saw, in front of everyone's eyes, the soul, Shishupal's soul was gone inside, seen entering into the body of Krishna. And Prabhupada writes, through Krishna, because Krishna is not different from Vishnu, and from there he went back to the spiritual world as Jaya and Vijay, into Narayana's, Lord Vishnu's planet. So meditation, how meditation determines our next body. Every thought that we have in our mind is laying the seed for our next birth. It's quite scary. What we think is creating our next body. So therefore, Smaranam, remembering Krishna will cut off all those seeds and prepare our spiritual body. Therefore, hearing every devotional activity should make us remember Krishna, should remind us of Krishna. If that Krishna factor is not there, then our actions are mechanical. So, Tulsi Aarti, all those things, when you do it daily, repeatedly, eating prasadam should remind us of Krishna so much. But then Mahaprasad, all those things become so mechanical. We do it daily, repeatedly. We just want to get it done and start gulping down the food and run off, right? Prasad hardly reminds us of Krishna many times. We are so much absorbed in the taste and the menu that we forget it is Krishna, not different from Krishna. Ekadashi hardly reminds us of Krishna. When we are supposed to remember Krishna the most, the menu itself repels us many times. So this story is very hope-giving from one point of view. Simple meditation. You don't have to do big things and be a temple manager, temple president, or a big preacher, big scholar. Nothing is needed. All we need is simple faith. Simple little faith that Krishna is Supreme Lord and is reciprocative. He's there in the heart as a super soul. That meditation gradually can take us back home, back to Godhead.
Prabhuji, at the sadhak stage, normally we know what is to be done, but that is not happening in the mind. We know that thoughts of Krishna only should come, but we struggle to get those thoughts because we are preoccupied with our other activities or office and whatever, other things. So that is, it's a very peculiar, very catch-22 situation actually, because we know what is to be done and it's not happening.
Therefore, we have practice. Sadhana means practice. Practicing devotion service. Vidhi, Vidhan, Vaidhi and Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So initially the challenge is there. We have to remain sincere. Avoid unnecessary association. Association is the root where you get desires. The association will plant the desires in our heart. Negative association will plant the negative desires. And positive association plants that positive desires. Therefore it is said, no, you are known by the company you keep. Of course, you are known by many things. You are known by what you eat. You are known by what you think. Association is the fertile ground where you can plant nice seeds, nice soil, on the nice soil.
I think association is the biggest maker or breaker.
Yeah, therefore it is called Sat Sangha. And therefore Lord Chaitanya said, Asat Sangha Tyag Ei Vaishnavachar. A devotee's hallmark is he will avoid Asat Sangha. A devotee is known by his tendency to stay away from negative association.